House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty and Security Title.
We are bringing you the second of two halves of understanding a property. Last week we talked about survey maps. Today we are talking about as-built maps. Gina.
Yes.
From RE/MAX Diamond Realty Guam.
Jason.
Hafade.
Good afternoon.
Yes, very much so, and good evening. And
good evening.
As-built, I'm assuming there's a hyphen in there and everything like that. I have never heard of as-built maps before, so I am anxiously awaiting how you explain
unless you're working in real estate or in the survey industry, you don't hear about that often, but it's becoming a very common thing. There's a bank in particular that if you process a loan with them, they require it as part of their loan process. I don't know if they're still enforcing that, but the last I had a transaction with them, they did. And basically, what is an as-built? And what is the difference between having a survey map and an as-built? Having a survey map is your legal document that identifies your property.
Right.
Having an as-built map so what it is I was explaining that maps are kind of like a birth certificate of a property, right? It tells you this is your property, this is how big it is.
I love that analogy,
right?
by the way.
This is when it was created. Okay, so it's kind of like a birth certificate. What's an as-built? An as-built, the way I explain it to most of my customers is, think of it like an x-ray. So, you know, I go in and I take an x-ray and I can see where my bones are. I can see what's broken. I can see everything that's running in this body. So to me, an as-built is more or less the same thing. The surveyor is going to come to the property and they're going to take a look at it and give me an x-ray of what's going on. Where does the house sit in relationship to this lot? So it's 10 feet from here, 15 feet from here. You know, that's what they're showing me. I have a shack. I have a little barbecue pit on the back of my property. Where's that little barbecue pit on this property?
Could I also say, because I've never been to medical school, and I don't know if you did. But
oh no, I didn't.
Okay.
I'm just using that.
But remember
as
when we
example.
looked through like those medical books, like Grey's Anatomy or something like that, there were always like those multiple transparencies. You can see like here's the pituitary system, here's the bones, here's the organs, and as you peel back the layers, you can actually see where everything sits in relation to the property, which is the body.
That's exactly what it is. It shows you where everything sits in relationship to this property.
Oh yeah.
And you know, we can go out there and we can look with our eyes, but unless there's, like for instance, I go to a place, there's a fence. It's easy for me to see where the house is, where the wall of the house is in relationship to that fence, right? What if the fence is not where the property point is supposed to be? What if it's outside? What if it's inside? So that's what the as-built creates. Now, is the as-built a legal document? It doesn't create the lot. It's not a survey. So you can't use an as-built to fix anything, but you can use it to identify what you want to see.
Okay, so that being the case, and now that I know the difference between a survey map and an as-built map, do I have to have one or the other? It sounds like the survey is the more important of the two. The as-built is maybe just, you know, gravy.
So yes, it's exactly that. Okay. So if the survey is our birth certificate, then you absolutely can't do much.
You don't exist.
Yeah, if you don't exist.
Right.
So you absolutely need that survey map, especially if you're going to sell. What are you selling? You're selling. So
a survey map's a birth certificate. A as-built map is like your driver's license. You can get perfectly fine on in life without it, but it certainly does help.
It helps, yeah. So you've got the as-built, and the question is, when do you do an as-built? Well, for me, because I've built before, right? And in fact, we have a sample of what I'm describing. This is a property that RE/MAX is building. We had a survey map done, so I already know what the survey looks like. But now we're getting ready to build, and we had the survey points were marked years ago, okay? And now the house, the structure's on there. We're not done with the building, but the structure's there already. And the question came up, hey, where do we put the fence? And I told the contractor, okay, wait. I know we had the survey points here a long time ago, but the jungle grew, you cleared the property because you had to build the house. We actually had the markers put in there, but I don't want to take a chance. I want to mark the points again. I want to do an as-built so we can see where the structure is in reference to the entire lot. And so we did that. We did the as-built after the house was built. And primarily because we know we're going to sell this house, and I know some buyers are going to ask, hey, we know there's regulations about the distance a house should be 15 feet from the front boundary, 8 feet from the side, 10 from the back. Prove to me that this house you built conforms to the law. And so that's when I would recommend you do it.
Does it still have to be put together by, like, say, like a professional engineer or an architect or a surveyor?
A surveyor.
Okay.
It has to be put together
This
by a
can't be like-
registered surveyor. Well, I can't do it.
This can't be like Party Jacob with, you know, like a little bit of like crayons and stuff
No,
like that. Okay.
you know what? And I've seen some contractors, what's happened in my line of work is we'll sell a house and we get perhaps, you know, when you're building a house, the front page of your building plans has more or less an as-built, because it does show you, okay, here's the house, here's where it was built in relationship to the lot, but it was prepared by the contractor. I typically don't want to use that. They're not qualified or licensed, in my opinion, to give me an as-built. So when a customer wants an as-built, I want it prepared by a surveyor, unless the customer is willing to take something else, because ultimately it is their decision.
Okay, well, what I'm taking away from this is, as you said, gravy. That's what I need. So basically, the survey map is what you need. The as-built map is gravy.
It's gravy.
I'm
It's
hungry
an
now.
addition.
You want to get something to eat?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm starved too.
Gene and I are going to go make more food analogies, and we will be back right after this.